Whoever touches your hand is healed, disease departs before my presence. Exodus 15 verse 26. The body that has carried pain and weakness is filled with strength and vitality as the light that sustains creation moves through every cell. The fibers of muscles, bones, blood, and organs are renewed, regaining perfect balance and functionality. What once seemed like fatigue, stiffness, or inflammation dissolves like mist before the dawn of a power that transcends all understanding. Every organ that has suffered deterioration receives immediate restoration, while veins and arteries open like rivers of life and health, silently expanding and bringing complete renewal. The heart, engine of existence, regains a steady and constant rhythm. Each beat synchronizes with the harmony of life, sending oxygen, strength, and energy to every extremity. Ailments that seemed chronic encounter perfect solutions, and what was once considered irreversible transforms into tangible evidence of recovery. The immune system strengthens and activates with flawless precision, recognizing any threat and neutralizing it effectively, while the entire body aligns with the original design of perfection and wholeness. The senses sharpen and perception of the world becomes clear and vibrant. Every nerve fiber that suffered damage or where is repaired, restoring sensitivity and coordination. Joints, once stiff or painful, move with complete freedom. Every gesture, step, and breath occurs without effort or pain, as if creation itself celebrates the manifestation of total healing. Inner strength is renewed, accompanied by peace and confidence, while the mind fills with clarity reflecting the perfect order that sustains all existence. The blood, carrier of life, flows with purity and energy, eliminating toxins and strengthening every tissue. Cells multiply in harmony, repairing damage accumulated over years of wear, illness, or accident. Every system of the body cooperates perfectly with the others, creating a state of absolute balance where disease finds no refuge. Vital energy circulates freely, providing endurance, vitality, and sustained restoration. What was once fragility becomes strength. What was vulnerability, defense. What seemed loss becomes gain. Emotions closely linked to physical well-being find release. Health-related fears dissolve, replaced by a deep certainty of recovery. Anxiety that caused muscle tension and pressure on organs disappears, and every thought contributes to a rejuvenated body. The connection between mind, spirit, and flesh strengthens, generating a state of integral harmony where healing is not only observed but felt and experienced in every dimension of being. Vision clears, hearing sharpens, and all senses respond with precision. Digestion is optimized, and the nutrition reaching every cell is fully absorbed, generating abundant energy and vitality. The lungs breathe pure and clean air, filling every corner of the body with oxygen that renews tissues and strengthens every organ. Natural defenses multiply, and any trace of disease encounters absolute resistance. Every breath reinforces health and reminds that recovery is complete, integral, and definitive. The skeletal system regenerates, bones gain density and strength, and every joint lubricates naturally. Muscles tone and regain strength, allowing full and free mobility. Every movement is executed with precision, and every posture of the body reflects perfect balance. What was once perceived as physical limitation now becomes an expression of vigor and inexhaustible energy. Coordination between mind and body reaches a level of perfection that amazes, confirming that total restoration has taken place at all levels. Every internal organ aligns with its original function. The liver cleanses effectively, the kidneys filter with perfection, and the heart pumps with a steady, powerful rhythm. Immune system cells recognize any threat and act with speed and precision, neutralizing any trace of infection, inflammation, or damage. What was once considered a persistent condition now becomes a distant memory, while the body celebrates its renewed capacity to remain healthy, strong, and resilient against any future challenge. The nervous system transmits impulses with clarity and speed. Every connection between brain and body is restored, eliminating any interference that caused pain, numbness, or dysfunction. The mind remains alert and serene, memory strengthens, and concentration becomes precise. Every decision made by the body and mind is efficient, reflecting a state of perfect balance and control. Harmony between systems allows energy to flow freely, generating a sense of well-being, vitality, and fullness at every moment. The skin revitalizes, regaining healthy elasticity, color, and texture. Any scar, inflammation, or superficial injury diminishes until it disappears. Tissue regeneration accelerates, and the entire body reflects health, strength, and vitality. What once seemed aged or deteriorated transforms into an expression of renewed life. Every organ, muscle, and fiber reflects balance, coordination, and perfection, showing that healing is neither partial nor temporary, but complete, sustained, and glorious. Strength and energy reach every corner of the body, generating resistance to fatigue, mental clarity in confusion, and serenity in stress. Health manifests in every gesture, every breath, and every movement. What once seemed illness becomes a living testimony of restoration and victory. Physical well-being intertwines with inner peace, creating a state of harmony that projects into every action and interaction with the world. Regeneration also reaches the spiritual dimension. Every cell vibrates in synchrony with life, the mind illuminates with prophetic clarity, and the spirit strengthens with certainty and deep peace. Healing is experienced in body, mind, and soul, creating a transformative effect that extends to the way of living, the ability to enjoy every moment, and the perception of life in fullness. The past of pain becomes a lesson, the present of recovery becomes evidence, and the future of vitality becomes a sure promise. Complete healing is confirmed in every aspect of being. Energy flows freely and abundantly, the body responds with precision and strength, the mind remains clear and serene, and the spirit fills with peace and certainty. What was once disease becomes testimony, what was once weakness transforms into power, and what once seemed impossible now manifests as tangible reality. Every cell, every organ, every muscle, and every thought confirms that healing is total, permanent, and glorious. The Lord heals the wounds of the broken and binds up their sores. Psalm 147 verse 3. Every shadow of suffering dissolves before the light that moves through your body. The areas where tension had lodged are released, and the feeling of heaviness transforms into lightness. Every affected nerve, every fatigued fiber, senses an energy that purifies and renews. The pain that seemed constant encounters relief that not only soothes but strengthens, restoring vitality and movement to the body. Heartbeats regain strength and confidence, and the pulse regulates with precision, filling every moment of life with security. Joints that had felt stiff now expand with freedom. Muscles that were tense or sore relax and regain elasticity, while blood circulation intensifies, carrying nutrients and oxygen to the places that needed them most. The sensation of inflammation vanishes, and every cell responds with perfect synchronicity, showing that restoration reaches every corner of the body, from the innermost organs to the surface of the skin. The mind, burdened with worry over suffering, clears and receives clarity. Anxiety that accompanied physical pain transforms into certainty of recovery. Every negative thought is replaced with inner strength and determination. Memory strengthens, concentration sharpens, and creativity activates, generating solutions, strategies, and perspectives that enhance health. The mind becomes an ally that drives restoration, reinforcing the healing process completely and integrally. Internal organs receive silent but absolute care. The liver and kidneys act with renewed efficiency, purifying and eliminating any substances that caused weakness. The digestive system processes food perfectly, extracting energy that nourishes every cell. The lungs breathe fully, filling every corner of the body with oxygen and providing immediate strength. Every system responds with precise order, and internal harmony ensures that healing is not only evident but lasting. Emotions trapped in pain find release. Sadness, frustration, and anguish that had settled with illness transform into deep peace and emotional stability. Inner strength activates, generating resilience that supports both body and spirit. Every tear becomes a seed of renewal, and the feeling of vulnerability transforms into evidence of strength and recovery. Mind and emotions cooperate so that healing is complete, integrating body, thought, and soul in harmony. The immune system revitalizes in a remarkable way. Every defensive cell strengthens, recognizing and neutralizing anything that could weaken the body. Infections, inflammations, or imbalances that previously persisted encounter immediate resistance and disappear. Recovery does not depend on human time or limited medicine but occurs naturally, perfectly, and sustainably, showing that every organ, tissue, and cell is aligned with the healing force flowing in every moment. Every wound, internal or external, experiences renewal. Damaged tissues are repaired, muscles strengthen, and the skin regains texture and vitality. Scars, marks of past pain, transform into signs of victory. Flexibility and coordination return, allowing free and safe movement. Every daily gesture reflects renewed health and constant energy, showing that restoration encompasses every dimension of the body, from the deepest to the most visible. The senses experience clarity and precision. Vision becomes sharper, hearing perceives with greater definition, touch and sensitivity balance. What once caused discomfort or limitations disappears, and every experience is enjoyed fully. Body, mind, and senses are in a state of harmony that enhances well-being, transforming every daily activity into a reflection of fullness and recovery. Deep breathing becomes an instrument of healing. Each inhalation brings strength and energy to the lungs, while each exhalation removes tension, pain, and accumulated fatigue. Conscious breathing revitalizes the nervous system, calms the mind, and reinforces emotional balance. Each inhalation strengthens the health of vital organs, and each exhalation purifies, generating a constant flow of vitality and harmony in the body. Blood circulates with force and clarity, carrying essential nutrients and efficiently eliminating toxins. Every blood vessel functions as a perfect conduit, ensuring that each cell receives what it needs to regenerate. Vital energy intensifies, filling the body with vigor and endurance, and every organ acts with precision for total well-being. What once weakened now strengthens. What caused fragility becomes a symbol of recovery and fullness. Synchronization between body, mind, and spirit consolidates, generating a state of integral health without limits. Strength endures, energy renews continuously, and serenity accompanies every action. What once caused physical or emotional insecurity becomes certainty of health and well-being. Every breath, every movement, and every thought reinforces total restoration, confirming that healing is not partial but complete, lasting, and glorious. Regeneration reaches each organ and tissue in a personalized way. Every cell takes steps toward perfection, eliminating waste, correcting damage, and strengthening structures. Muscles regain strength and elasticity, joints move effortlessly, and vital organs function flawlessly. Every system acts in perfect coordination with the others, creating a balance that transforms daily life into an experience of fullness, vitality, and manifest health. Inner well-being reflects in every external gesture. The power of recovery is evident in posture, mobility, and the energy displayed in walking, working, and interacting. Every moment becomes evidence of victory over pain and illness, showing that healing is total, integrative, and complete. Physical fullness generates confidence, peace, and clarity, strengthening every area of life with the certainty that recovery is constant and secure. The strength that emerges amid pain not only heals but transforms. Every physical challenge becomes a reminder of the restorative power flowing without interruption. Resilience activates, vigor multiplies, and vitality expands, reaching every cell and tissue. What once seemed weakening transforms into strength. What seemed impossible becomes tangible evidence of recovery and triumph over any condition that limited life. Health is not limited to the absence of illness but manifests as complete balance in body, mind, and spirit. Every breath, every movement, every thought, and every emotion contributes to integral strengthening. Energy flows through every corner of the body, driving regeneration, optimizing functions, and ensuring that healing is permanent. What was once painful now becomes a testimony of victory, and every day reflects fullness, strength, and well-being. Every cell and organ works in perfect harmony, strengthening vitality, eliminating any trace of illness, and ensuring constant balance. The vital energy flowing is powerful, sustained, and complete. Every gesture, every movement, and every breath confirms that healing has manifested in all its fullness. What once caused worry or fear is now replaced with peace, strength, and joy. Total recovery manifests and endures, transforming life into an experience of glorious fullness. I will turn their mourning into joy. I will comfort them and give them gladness for their sorrow. Jeremiah 31 verse 13. The wounds that have lodged within you have no power to remain. The emotional scars that time tried to perpetuate now receive a touch that erases them and transforms them into signs of victory. There is no memory of anguish that can withstand the renewing force flowing deep within your being. Every thought weighed down by sadness dissolves like mist before the sun, and the heaviness that dominated your spirit transforms into a surge of joy that expands from the innermost part of you into every aspect of your life. The fear that chained your emotions collapses like a wall without foundation. The insecurities that had built fortresses in your mind are destroyed by a torrent of unshakable confidence. Where doubt once reigned, security now establishes itself. Where panic had taken seat, courage now blooms. There is no anxiety that can resist the comfort that invades your thoughts and stabilizes every heartbeat. What was an internal storm becomes perpetual calm, an ocean at rest reflecting peace in all its magnitude. Your heart undergoes a complete process of purification. Emotional burdens accumulated over the years fall away like rusted chains, unable to be lifted again. Resentment dissolves, bitterness loses its root, and the weight of disappointment transforms into lightness. Hope takes its place, filling with light the spaces formerly occupied by darkness. Every feeling that had been struck by betrayals or losses is restored, strengthened, and clothed in unwavering confidence. Healing is not limited to the body, it also encompasses memories that seemed impossible to mend. Memories of painful moments are transformed into testimonies of strength. They no longer bring tears of sorrow but rivers of gratitude. What once seemed to mark you forever as defeated now rises as a banner of triumph. The past has no power to dictate your present, and what was once ruin is now a solid foundation of restoration and glory. Emotions, often unstable like turbulent waves, receive perfect balance. Anger that consumed you fades, replaced by self-control. Chronic sadness transforms into sustainable joy. Anxiety that slowly eroded peace is replaced by serenity that nothing can disturb. Every emotional state finds its course in a river of stability, and within that stability manifests the inner strength that allows you to move forward without faltering or wavering in the face of difficulties. The heart, which had been fractured by disappointments, finds reconstruction. The scattered pieces come together perfectly, forming a structure stronger than before. No past wound can break what has now been consolidated. Trust returns, not as something fragile that can easily break, but as firm certainty that supports every decision and every relationship. Love flows again, not conditional but pure and genuine, reaching not only you but also those around you. The silent sadness you carried deep inside transforms into a melody of celebration. The weeping that for so long accompanied your nights now becomes spontaneous laughter. The emotional void that seemed impossible to fill is satisfied with abundant fullness. Your spirit rises, your thoughts are illuminated, and your heart beats with a rhythm of renewed hope. Life itself is clothed in color where there was only gray before, and the perspective of each day is filled with glorious expectation. Every negative emotion loses strength. Guilt dissolves because forgiveness establishes a new beginning. Shame disappears because dignity shines. Discouragement fades as motivation rises like an unquenchable fire. Everything that once made you feel inferior or incapable transforms into evidence of your restored strength. What previously weakened you emotionally now becomes a platform for growth and fulfillment. The mind receives clarity and rest. Constant worries that stole energy no longer have dominion. Confusion disappears, giving way to thoughts full of order and purpose. Indecision becomes firm determination, and doubts dissipate like smoke in the wind. Your ability to think and plan reaches a new level, sustained by inner peace that remains. Your entire being aligns in harmony, and your heart finds a balance that shields it from any emotional disorder. The power of emotional healing not only transforms your interior but also reflects outwardly. The brightness in your eyes intensifies, Your smile becomes authentic, and your voice conveys confidence. Relationships that had been affected by emotional wounds find restoration. Broken bonds receive a new opportunity, and ties of love consolidate with greater strength. What had been a ground of conflict becomes fertile soil for reconciliation, understanding, and respect. Vital energy flows from emotional stability into your body. Stress that had weakened your organism disappears. Physical tension dissolves because calm governs your thoughts. The health of the physical heart strengthens thanks to the peace of the emotional heart. Every organ responds with improvement when emotions align with serenity. Vitality multiplies and physical strength finds an ally in inner well-being. The connection between body and emotions is perfectly established. Love, as the supreme force, invades every corner of your being. Not a love limited by human conditions, but abundant love overflowing in acceptance and fullness. That love heals deep wounds, eliminates hidden fears, and renews identity with unshakable security. Where rejection once existed, there is now welcome. Where coldness existed, there is now warmth. Where indifference existed, there is now tenderness that transforms everything around it. Your spirit finds freedom as it is released from emotional chains. The weight you carried for years upon your shoulders disappears. Inner lightness becomes your new reality. Freedom opens doors that seemed closed, and creativity activates because emotions no longer limit your potential. Life gains higher meaning, and every day becomes an opportunity to enjoy the fullness of a renewed heart. Painful memories are no longer a threat but a testimony. What once brought tears of sorrow now brings tears of gratitude. Traces of the past cease to be open scars and transform into symbols of overcoming. Every stage of suffering becomes a chapter of a glorious story. Nothing you experienced is lost. Everything is transformed into a foundation that strengthens your present and projects your future with hope. Emotional stability produces a clear vision of tomorrow. Uncertainty ceases to be a shadow and becomes positive expectation. Your plans are sustained by inner peace, and your decisions are grounded in confidence. There is no fear of the future because the security now dwelling within you transcends any circumstance. Tomorrow is not a threat, it is opportunity. Every coming day becomes a stage for new victories, multiplied joy, and constant gladness. The restoration of the heart and emotions is complete because it leaves no empty spaces or open fractures. Joy replaces pain, peace substitutes anxiety, and strength overcomes emotional weakness. Your entire being is clothed in balance and stability, and life flows with a dynamism that reflects the glory of healing. Nothing can take away what has been deposited in you. Emotional fullness, profound security, and a peace that surpasses all understanding. What is impossible for men is possible for God. Luke 18 verse 27. Human limitations do not stop the flow of my power. Where science issues definitive diagnoses, where medicine declares itself defeated, where strength seems extinguished, my intervention arises that transcends the natural. No barriers can withstand my will, because all that seems unattainable to man is only the beginning of a glorious miracle for me. In the realm of the impossible, I establish my glory, and in scenarios where everything appears lost, I manifest victory. The report that was once a sentence becomes a testimony. The words that marked an ending are transformed into a declaration of beginning. The magnitude of the damage, the depth of the illness, or the time that has passed does not matter. When my power is activated, everything that seemed finished rises with renewed strength. The body that had been reduced to pain and fragility is strengthened in a way that surprises even those who had lost all hope. Incurable ailments are challenged and overcome. Organs on the verge of collapse receive fresh life. Weakened systems respond with precision, recovering functions thought extinguished. Bones are reconstructed, tissues regenerate, and cells align in perfect order that surpasses any prognosis. What was irreversible becomes a field for the manifestation of my power. No impossibility resists my will, which acts with perfection. The history of those burdened with impossible diagnoses changes radically. Extreme fatigue transforms into vigor. Prolonged weakness becomes inexhaustible energy. The body that depended on constant treatments receives total freedom. Those confined to physical limitations find movement and liberty. Every detail of what seemed lost is restored in a dimension that transcends the natural, showing that my power has no boundaries. No genetic condition can limit my intervention. Inherited chains are broken, predispositions disappear, and patterns of weakness are replaced by comprehensive strength. DNA itself responds to the voice of healing, and the information that seemed to dictate disease transforms into a code of life and fullness. The inheritance that once brought suffering is annulled, and in its place is established an inheritance of health, vigor, and glory. The impossible also becomes testimony when illness had consumed years of life. Where that seemed irreversible becomes renewed freshness. Skin regains vitality, the senses are strengthened, vision clears, hearing sharpens, and every physical faculty responds with excellence. Restoration is not partial or limited. It is complete, integral, and glorious. Time that disease had stolen is multiplied into days of strength and fullness. Pain that seemed endless is extinguished at its root. No trace remains of the affliction that wore down the spirit. Calm replaces suffering, and deep rest returns as a source of renewal. Every night becomes a space of recovery, and every dawn a proof of manifest healing. No impossibility can stop me when I decide to intervene, for in me dwells the power that sustains life and renews it without measure. Conditions that science calls terminal are fertile ground for resurrection for me. Where the body is declared hopeless, my voice commands life. Where biological cycles have reached their limit, a new cycle of fullness opens. What seemed like definitive closure becomes a door to a miracle. No diagnosis is final in the face of my glory, for I am the one who establishes the final verdict, and that verdict is abundant life. Healing in the impossible is not limited to the physical. It also reaches the depths of the soul. The heart that had surrendered under the weight of hopelessness fills with renewed courage. The mind trapped in resignation awakens to the certainty that everything can change. The sadness that accompanied pain disappears, replaced by uncontrollable joy. I do not only restore bodies, I restore entire lives that had been marked by the impossible. The environment also perceives the transformation. Family members who cried at the sight of suffering witness recovery with amazement. Those who had lost faith behold what seemed unattainable. The community becomes witness to a phenomenon that cannot be explained by human means. Every detail of the miracle points to the glory of the eternal, demonstrating that in me there are no barriers, for my power is absolute. Impossibilities do not limit, but amplify my glory. The more difficult the situation seemed, the more evident my power becomes when it manifests. Every organ that revives, every tissue that regenerates, every cell that transforms becomes a proclamation that the impossible submits to my authority. What was once a reason for lament is now a reason for celebration. What was once considered a tragedy is now remembered as a day of victory. Time is not an obstacle. Even when illnesses lasted for decades, no clock can stop my action. I can restore in an instant what seemed to require years. I can rebuild in seconds what man said could never be repaired. I can make life flourish in terrains where there was only ruin. My intervention transcends chronology and manifests with perfect precision. Restoration in the impossible also manifests in future resilience. I do not only remove the present disease, but I establish strength so that no similar condition returns. Bodies that receive this healing become witnesses of extraordinary immunity. Systems are strengthened so that what was once fragility becomes impenetrable strength. Healing is not a passing moment, it is a sustained and permanent reality. The miracle in the impossible generates impact beyond the individual. It becomes inspiration for those going through difficult processes. It opens the door of faith in hearts that had ceased to believe. It awakens hope in entire communities, raising the conviction that there is no limit to what I can accomplish. What seemed unique and unrepeatable multiplies as a sign that my power moves without restrictions. The glory of healing in the impossible extends to every dimension of life. It not only restores bodies but also opens futures. Where limits were seen, there are now paths. Where everything was closed, opportunities now rise. The testimony of the miracle becomes a platform for new conquests. and life takes a glorious course never before imagined. The impossible ceases to be an obstacle and becomes a stage for my greatness. The illness that had risen as a giant falls defeated. The ailment that seemed unbeatable is conquered. Fragility is replaced by strength, impossibility by opportunity, ruin by fullness. Everything man had considered lost rises renewed, for in me there is no ending that cannot become a new beginning. Victory over the impossible is complete, for it leaves no loose ends. The root of the problem is removed, the pain disappears, fragility is replaced with vigor, and hopelessness is erased with joy. Healing becomes a constant reality that accompanies every day. There is no room for doubt or fear, for the impossible has already been conquered and transformed into an eternal testimony of my glorious power. He gives strength to the weary and increases the power of the powerless. Isaiah 40 verse 29. From the beginning of time, I have held in my hands the design of your body. I was the one who drew each bone, who shaped every organ, who determined the perfect harmony that sustains your life. Nothing in you is beyond my reach, for I know the deep and the hidden. Today I speak with a voice of power to declare healing over your bones, over your organs, over all that has been struck by disease or wear. I come into your interior and ignite in you the strength that defeats the impossible. I look inside you and see the fatigue that has consumed you, the pain that has lodged in your bones like an unwanted visitor. But I tell you with authority, that pain will not remain. I breathe upon your structure and fill it with new life. Your bones hear my word, your joints respond to my voice, and your organs align with the perfection of my design. No cell is beyond my reach, no fiber escapes my restorative touch. Where science has said there is no solution, I show my glory. Where doctors have raised their hands in defeat, I raise my hands and deposit a miracle. For I do not work on the surface, but in the deepest part of your being. I move in the invisible and make my power visible. What was deteriorated I rebuild, what was weakened I strengthen, what seemed dead I revive with my creative word. Your marrow receives my life, your cartilage is renewed, your vital organs are filled with a new flow. I establish order in your internal functions, I make the blood circulate with purity, the heart pump with vigor, the lungs breathe fully. Every organ responds to my voice as the seas respond to my command. I say, be clean, be healthy, be restored, and your body obeys. Today I tear down the walls that disease had raised within you. That fortress of pain that kept you limited falls by the power of my name. Your bones rise like firm columns, your organs work like an army in perfect coordination. There is no place for chaos inside you because I establish my order and my purpose. Do not fear when you feel weakness, for in your weakness my strength is perfected. Do not fear when the signs of pain try to speak louder than my voice, for I decree that those signs are extinguished now. I bring a new language of life to your interior. No longer will your bones speak of fragility, they will speak of endurance. No longer will your organs speak of wear, they will speak of longevity. For I am marking your body with a seal of restoration. Look at what I do in secret. I reconstruct your liver, strengthen your heart, refresh your kidneys, heal your stomach, regenerate your skin. Nothing is too small or too complex for me. I enter where human hands cannot enter. I act where the scalpel cannot reach. I restore where medicines stop. I want you to know that your bones, which once ached with pain, are now filled with a fresh oil of strength. I lubricate the dry, I soften the hardened, I repair the broken. Even the diagnoses that seemed written in iron ink are erased before me, for I write a new story in your health. My voice meets no resistance in the physical. If I command your lungs to expand, they do. If I order your pancreas to produce what is right, it obeys me. If I speak to your blood and say, flow freely, it obeys. My decrees do not depend on natural laws. My decrees establish new laws that overcome human limitation. I visit your body as the artisan visits his masterpiece. I examine every detail and adjust it to perfection. My hands do not only heal, they also rebuild. Where there is a void, I fill it with life. Where there is deterioration, I plant strength. Where there is fracture, I leave a mark of restoration that will be a living testimony of my power. Do not fix your eyes on what is lacking. Fix your eyes on what I am doing now. Healing is not only a destination, It is a river flowing this very moment within you. Feel how my currents move through your marrow, how the energy of my spirit touches your organs and makes them function with excellence. Your body will be a testimony of the supernatural, for what seemed impossible today is possible under my word. I raise your skeletal structure to support your life with dignity. I reinforce your immune system like an unbeatable army. I establish divine balance in your hormones. I make your interior sing with harmony, for every part of you recognizes my touch and aligns with my original design. The pain that once lodged in your nights retreats in shame. The disease that threatened your days is expelled by my fire. I declare over you that your body becomes fertile ground where only life, strength, and health grow. No ailment will take root because I cleanse your soil and consecrate it to my purpose. Just as a potter molds clay, I mold your bones and organs. I strengthen them so they will not break under the tests of life. I fill them with my vitality so they can endure what is to come. Your body will be a fortress. Your organism will be a living testimony that my word heals. Rejoice, for it is already done. Do not wait for external signs, for the sign is within you, the fire of my healing. Every cell proclaims my name, every organ declares my victory, every bone testifies that I have passed through it with my glory. Nothing can contradict what I have already decreed. My power is neither limited nor partial. What I begin, I finish. What I promise, I fulfill. What I declare, I establish. Today your bones shine with strength, your organs beat with new life, and your whole body rises as a living altar that announces my greatness. Your healing will not be temporary, it will be established as an eternal covenant between you and me. The years to come will show in you the mark of my faithfulness. And even when others wonder how you managed to overcome, you will know it was by my divine touch. For I enter into the deepest part of your being and transform it with a love that knows no limits. In your presence there is fullness of joy, at your right hand are pleasures forevermore. Psalm 16 verse 11. My presence is the spring from which life flows. When you immerse yourself in me, everything that was out of order begins to align. There is no ailment that can resist the power of my closeness, no disease that can stand firm when my glory invades your interior. Where my presence rests, weariness dissolves, pain retreats, and the entire body receives a new breath of hope. You do not need to force your healing, for in my presence it happens naturally. Just as darkness disappears before the light without making a sound, so your illness yields to the radiance of my being. When you are in my presence, your body aligns with my design. Every cell recognizes my voice, every organ submits to my command, every bone is strengthened under the warmth of my glory. My presence is rest for what was fatigued. It is repose for what carried heavy burdens. When you rest in me, your interior finds the peace that restores. That peace is neither fragile nor fleeting. It is a deep river that runs through your veins, refreshes your thoughts, orders your emotions, and heals even the most broken parts of your being. Amid the noise of the world, I envelop you in a glorious silence where wounds close. In my presence, anxiety loses strength, stress dissipates, and fear is disarmed. What seemed immovable moves, what seemed impossible is fulfilled, what seemed eternal in pain is transformed in an instant. My presence is invisible medicine that works beyond what you can comprehend. It enters the depths of your organs, touches your nerves, lightens your breathing, and renews your circulation. My glory flows like a river that cleanses, that sweeps away impurities, that unties the knots of disease and opens the channel of life. In my presence, you not only receive healing, you receive strength. I fill you with new energy, with inexhaustible vigor, with endurance that overcomes adversity. As you remain in me, your body stops speaking of fatigue and begins to sing of fullness. What was once weakness transforms into capability. What was once pain becomes a testimony of my power. Do not fear when symptoms try to rise like opposing voices, for in my presence those voices are silenced. No medical argument, no human verdict, no word of defeat can survive the weight of my glory. I cover your body with a mantle of victory, and that mantle repels every shadow of illness. See what my closeness does. Your heart beats in perfect rhythm, your lungs expand freely, your mind calms gently. Your muscles find rest, your bones feel firm, your skin shines with vitality. I flood every corner of your being and fill it with a balance that no medicine can provide. My presence is like the sun that nourishes the earth. Just as fields are renewed under the light, so your body flourishes under my radiance. What was barren gains color, what was dry receives moisture, what was weak rises in splendor. I make you whole when you enter my holy atmosphere. There are pains that cannot be healed by human hands, but my presence dissolves them without leaving a trace. There are diseases that defy all explanation, but my glory disarms them from the root. I do not treat symptoms, I transform the very essence of your life. Everything I touch in you becomes a testimony of healing. When you surrender in my presence, your soul is pacified, and this is reflected in your body. Inner rest frees your organs, the calm of the heart strengthens your system, the serenity of your mind releases your bones from the weight of tension. For body, soul, and spirit align in my atmosphere of glory. My presence does not only heal, it also preserves. It protects what I have restored, covers what I have regenerated, defends what I have strengthened. Every time you remain in me, your healing is consolidated, your strength renewed, your victory extended. It is not a fleeting moment, it is a permanent state of fullness. There is no place for disease in the environment where I am. As frost melts under the heat of fire, so your ailments disappear under the embrace of my glory. What seemed embedded in your body loosens, what seemed impossible to remove breaks, what seemed to advance stops and retreats. I walk inside you like a king walking through his palace. I inspect every room, every hall, every corner of your body. Where I find cracks, I repair them. Where I find weakness, I fortify. Where I see signs of pain, I erase them with my power. I leave nothing half done, for my presence is fullness in every detail. When you are with me, your body does not wear out. It is renewed. You do not age under the weight of illness. You rejuvenate under the vigor of my spirit. Every day you spend in my presence is a day where health is sown in you. Even the marks of time are transformed into testimonies of life. I raise your internal defenses like an indestructible wall. I reinforce your organism with the energy of my glory. I declare that nothing can break what I have restored, that no evil can infiltrate what I have protected. For my presence does not only touch, it guards and preserves. Rest in me and watch how weariness disappears. Repose in me and feel how your strength multiplies. Dwell in me and see how the impossible becomes possible. My atmosphere is the place where everything comes to life, where the sick are healed, where the weak are strengthened, and where the broken are restored. Today I declare over you that every organ vibrates in perfect harmony, that every system of your body moves with excellence, that every cell is filled with vitality. You are not a collection of isolated parts. You are a complete work sustained by my glory. And in my presence, that work shines with splendor. Rejoice, for healing is not a future event. It is a present reality in the environment where I manifest. My presence is not limited to a moment. It is a constant river that never stops flowing. Immerse yourself in that river and let it cleanse you, restore you, and fill you with a life that never fades. I am with you at this very moment. My glory fills your space. My atmosphere surrounds you. My power moves within you. Every breath you take is infused with my life. Every beat of your heart carries the mark of my victory. Every movement of yours testifies that my presence is in you to heal you. Your body will be a living altar that shows the world what my presence does. They will see the miracle in you, recognize that my glory transforms, and believe in the power of my word. For your healing will not be a secret. It will be a visible proclamation that my presence changes everything. But I will bring health and healing. I will heal them and reveal to them an abundance of peace and truth. Jeremiah 33 verse 6. I extend my hands over your house and declare that my healing does not stop at your body, but overflows onto your family. What I begin in you multiplies like a river that flows through every corner of your home. I do not limit my work to a single heart. I extend it as an inheritance to those who share your life. My purpose is complete: to heal the individual, restore the family, and raise a lineage marked by my glory. Where there was illness that repeated from generation to generation, today I break the chain. Where there were diagnoses that seemed inevitable in your blood, I establish a new decree. My words penetrate your lineage and cleanse it, cutting roots of pain, undoing curses of weakness, and tearing down inheritances of suffering. I open a path of freedom where once there were chains of disease. I look at each member of your family and cover them with my power. I touch the smallest and fill them with vitality. I strengthen those who have felt the weight of age with new forces. I pour over those who carry ailments a wave of restoration. My healing distinguishes neither age nor condition, for my glory reaches all who bear your name and all who dwell under your roof. Your home will be a space of health. The walls will resonate with praise instead of lament. The rooms that once knew nights of pain will know mornings of fullness. The atmosphere of your house will be like a garden where life, rest, and well-being flourish. It will not be remembered as a place of sickness, but as a refuge where my power manifested. The weak bodies of your loved ones are strengthened now. The organs that have been failing receive a new surge of life. The bones that have suffered over the years are filled with strength. The blood that did not flow freely begins to move with purity. I enter each body in your family and arrange it according to my original design. Your family will be a testimony of my faithfulness. When others look and ask how it is possible that the illness has receded, they will know that it was I who extended my hand. Your home will be like a beacon in the midst of darkness, showing that my power is not limited to an individual, but reaches all who call on me under the same roof. I declare that health is transmitted as an inheritance. Just as the tree bears fruit and its seed multiplies, so too will your lineage bear fruit of healing. The ailments that afflicted your ancestors will not be repeated, for my covenant establishes a new line. From you onward, your house will be known for fullness, strength, and abundant life. I enter the history of your family and rewrite the pages that had been stained by pain. The memories of hospitals will transform into memories of miracles. Conversations about diagnoses will be replaced by conversations about my victory. The atmosphere of fear will become an atmosphere of peace. Every room in your house will be a place where my glory manifests. The living room will be a space of joy. The bedrooms will be nests of rest. The table will be a place of celebration. Where there was tension and worry about health, there will now be security and trust in my faithfulness. I transform the culture of your home and turn it into an environment of fullness. I declare that your family will walk in unity, and that very unity will be medicine. For when my hands unite what was divided, healing flows without hindrance. Love will be a river that flows through your house, and in that river, my miracles will be constant. Forgiveness will bring relief, peace will bring rest, hope will bring strength. I visit each generation with my power. The elders of your family will not sink into weakness, but will experience unexpected renewal. Adults will not live under the weight of physical burdens, but will run with vigor. The young will not be limited by ailments, but will be agile and whole. Children will grow under an atmosphere of health, like shoots that flourish under the sun. Disease will have no dominion over your family, for I govern every body and every heart that belongs to me. Where there was once fear of inheriting ailments, there is now certainty of inheriting fullness. What I begin in you becomes a legacy that will reach those who come after you. I protect your family from plagues that roam, from evils that attempt to touch, from dangers that seek to enter. My presence will be a shield around your house. The attacks of the enemy will be nullified, for my glory will cover your loved ones like an indestructible mantle. Your family will not only receive healing, they will be a channel of healing for others. Those who enter your home will feel my peace. The sick who approach you will receive faith. The conversations at your table will ignite hope. For I do not do my work in secret. I multiply it so it reaches many more. I command that the disease that sought to sow division in your family disappears. What tried to bring burden and worry is removed by my power. In place of weakness, I plant strength. In place of sadness, I pour joy. In place of worry, I establish trust. Your house will be remembered as a home marked by my glory. The testimonies of your family will be seeds planted in the hearts of others. And those seeds will bear fruit in future generations. For I not only heal the present, I also secure the future. See how I pour over your loved ones a fresh oil of restoration. That oil flows through their bodies, penetrates their organs, strengthens their bones, calms their emotions, and renews their mind. There will be no corner of their life untouched by my power. Rejoice, for what seemed like an endless battle in your family has come to an end. I declare victory over every diagnosis. I declare life over every prognosis. I declare healing over every member of your house. What was marked by pain will now be marked by fullness. My covenant is firm and my word does not break. Just as I fulfill what I promise in you, I fulfill what I declare over your family. And today I announce with a voice of triumph, your house will be a living testimony that my healing knows no limits, no ages, and no boundaries. He calms the storm so that its waves are still. Psalms 107 verse 29. When the black clouds rise and the lightning shakes the earth, many think that chaos has the final word. But in the midst of the roar of the winds, in the trembling of uncertainty, my voice resonates like a beacon that never goes out. Nothing in heaven or on earth can extinguish the authority I place over your life. Even when the noise of pain tries to deafen your hope, my touch is stronger than any roar. I undo external storms and the internal storms that strike your body. Even when everything seems to sink, I extend my hand and bring health that does not depend on circumstances. I do not abandon you in the midst of the lightning. In the tempest of harsh diagnoses, in the storm of unexpected news, in the swell of pains that drain your strength, my power remains steady. Thunder does not intimidate me, darkness does not limit me, the waves of your suffering do not stop me. I am the one who establishes peace in the midst of the impossible, and my peace is not empty silence. It is active healing that invades every cell, every fiber, and every organ of your being. Just as the sea calms when I command it, so your body responds when I cover it with my power. Emotional tempests are disarmed, the gales of fear lose their strength, and the disease that seemed to grow violently vanishes before my authoritative voice. I do not speak with doubt, I speak with the weight of eternity, and that word brings health in the midst of chaos. When men say there is no way out, I open a path in the midst of the whirlwind. Your illness is not too great for my power to dismantle it. Your pain is not so deep that my light cannot reach it. Even when you feel you are in the middle of raging waters, I walk on those waters, and with each step I take, healing is released. I not only sustain your life but restore what seemed broken. Many seek refuge in temporary places, but my presence is the eternal refuge. When you run to me, you do not find a weak roof or a fragile wall. You find an impenetrable shield that deflects the darts of disease. I blow over your internal storms and they obey. There is no chaos that does not bow before my command. The enemy tries to make you believe that your body will remain like a shipwreck in the midst of the sea, but I undo his lies with a touch. The roar of illness becomes a muted whisper when my word penetrates. I do not only calm the external, but also what inside you screams in desperation. Listen to the clamor of the storm. It seems invincible, but I have already defeated it. The tempest is only a stage to display my glory. Adverse diagnoses, sleepless nights, tears shed, all of these become testimony of my healing power. I take what the enemy intended to use to destroy you and transform it into a sign of victory. Even if everything around you trembles, my touch remains firm. Your heart can beat in peace even though the storm rages outside. Your mind can rest even if human forecasts say otherwise. I am the calm that walks with you in the hurricane of life. Where others only see chaos, I write miracles of healing. Do not think your body is too weak to experience my power. I use the fragile to manifest my strength. Do not think your mind is too broken to receive rest. I pour peace over agitated thoughts like a river that never runs dry. And do not think that pain owns your story. The only owner of your destiny is me, and I have decreed healing over you. The stormy sea of your emotions calms when my word penetrates. I command fears to dissolve, insecurities to vanish, anguish to release its grip. And as triumphant silence establishes itself deep within your being, life springs forth with power. Your bones hear my voice and are strengthened. Your blood receives my command and is purified. Your organs respond to the sound of my glory and align with the perfect design I established. No storm can resist my authority. When the waves of uncertainty strike your family, I extend healing to yours as well. I do not only bring calm to your body but to your home. As my presence fills your environment, Every illness that sought to sow despair is uprooted. My mighty hand enters your home like a cleansing and purifying wind. And where there was once weeping, now a song of victory rises. My miracles are neither sporadic nor fragile. My power remains even if the storm rages again. Even if clouds insist on covering the sky, my light breaks through. The sun of righteousness shines brightly, and its rays bring healing. I do not stop at obstacles, I do not stop at diagnoses, I do not stop at impossibilities. Everything yields before my glory. Storms are temporary, but my power is eternal. Your pain has an expiration date, but my healing remains forever. The enemy thought you could be swept away by the waters, but I have raised a wall around you. Not even the fiercest tempest can snatch you from my hands. In the midst of the storm, you will not remain submerged. I lift your head above the waters and make you walk in victory. Disease will not be your prison because I break the chains of pain and weakness. The storm becomes a platform for my glory to shine. And my glory always produces healing. I now speak over your body. Every storm of illness dissolves, every cloud of pain clears, every wave of discomfort subsides. And I speak over your mind. The winds of anxiety dissipate, the thunders of fear are silenced, and glorious peace is established as a foundation. I declare abundant life over you. I declare complete restoration over you. I declare that, although storms rise again, you will always have refuge in my power. My hand is not shortened, my word is not weakened, my glory does not fade. I remain firm when everything else falters. I heal what seemed incurable, I restore what seemed lost, I strengthen what seemed weak. The storm does not have the final word. The final word will always be my victory over your life. For the Lord is the Spirit, and where the Spirit of the Lord is, there is freedom. 2 Corinthians 3 verse 17. The chains that have tried to bind your life are not eternal. The prisons that darkness raised around your mind are not stronger than the light of my power. I enter the dungeons where your soul has been imprisoned, and with my voice, I break the bars that seemed indestructible. The shackle of depression, the binding of anxiety, the slavery of addictions. None of these strongholds can withstand when my presence bursts in with authority. I dismantle the works that seek to steal your breath. Every lie that whispered you would never be free, I undo with the truth of my glory. My word does not only encourage, it transforms. It does not only relieve, it uproots what tried to devour your strength. The spirit of oppression that weighed on your body and mind is cast out when my light penetrates the darkness. The depression that extinguished your days becomes fertile ground where my joy springs forth. The anxiety that wore down your heart is replaced by unshakable calm. The addiction that claimed dominion is defeated under my purifying fire. I extend healing that is neither partial nor temporary. It is a healing that breaks chains, uproots yokes, and establishes complete freedom. The walls raised by pain collapse before my power. No force of darkness can resist my breath. Where there were thoughts of death, I declare abundant life. Where there was insomnia and torment, I establish deep rest. Where there was disorder and slavery, I plant firmness and restore dominion. Your spirit receives freshness as my hand touches the most hidden parts of your being. Even the wounds that were never spoken of, I reach them. No secret is too hidden for my light, and no pain is too deep for my healing to invade. My glory enters every corner where the enemy tried to raise invisible chains. I make my power visible and turn those chains to dust. Those who were accustomed to seeing you walk in defeat will witness an irreversible change. For I unleash your life from ancient bonds and clothe you with new garments of freedom. The oppression that had repeated for years in your blood and history is canceled in my presence. The inheritance of chains is cut at this moment, for I draw a line of fire that separates what was from the glorious destiny I prepare for you. The healing I bring is not limited to your physical body, it reaches your mind, your emotions, and your spirit. I restore the harmony that slavery had stolen. I restore the brightness of your eyes that sadness had dimmed. I restore the strength in your voice that fear had silenced. And I restore the ability to rise each day without the weight of condemnation or guilt. Many thought those chains were part of you, but I reveal that they were never your destiny. They were prisons imposed by the enemy, and today they collapse under my power. Depression will not be your identity. Anxiety will not govern your steps. Addictions will not define your future. I decree freedom, and my decree is never revoked. You were created to walk light, to breathe in peace, to advance in fullness. I remove the dark veil that covered your mind and open your eyes to the clarity of my purpose. While others struggle with human strength, you will experience the miracle of my divine intervention. You will not depend on weak resources, for I fill you with supernatural power that frees and heals in the same moment. The thickest chain cannot resist a single touch of my glory. The strongest lock cannot withstand the weight of my authority. Therefore, today I break addictions that consumed your body. I break patterns of anxiety that interrupted your peace. I break repetitive thoughts that sought to drown you. And in place of those chains, I plant firmness, clarity, and balance. Where there was once slavery, now there are dances of freedom. Where there were once tears of despair, now there are songs of victory. Where there were once bones tired from oppression, now there is renewed vigor from my breath. I make your life new from the inside out, because my healing begins deep and extends to the visible. The addictions that controlled your hands and your thoughts are broken now. I disconnect the power of those destructive habits and reconnect your being to the source of true life. The depression that tried to extinguish you meets the light of my joy and cannot resist. The anxiety that accelerated your thoughts surrenders to my established peace. I establish a new order within you, an order that no emotional storm can undo. You will walk in freedom in areas where you once stumbled. You will think clearly in places where there was once confusion. You will sleep peacefully where there was once insomnia. You will live with purpose where there was once emptiness. This is the work of my healing power that breaks chains and establishes a new season of fullness. Every word of condemnation spoken over you, every label of slavery placed upon you, I uproot. You are not what your fears said you were, nor are you what your past mistakes marked you as. I break those voices like rusty chains falling to the ground. And in their place, I fill your mind with words of life, your spirit with strength, your body with inexhaustible health. What seemed hereditary, what seemed unbreakable, what seemed impossible to release, I destroy with the force of my fire. No lineage of oppression can withstand when I speak. No dark habit remains when my glory manifests. Today is a day of freedom and complete healing. I now decree over you, depression releases its control, anxiety disappears, addictions dissolve. Spiritual and emotional sickness yield to my power. And as those chains fall, a river of life flows through your inner being. That river purifies, cleanses, renews, and strengthens. That river brings clarity, joy, and peace that remain steadfast. You will not return to the prison from which I delivered you. My power does not leave doors ajar. It closes them forever. The freedom I give you is solid, the healing I impart is complete, the victory I declare is perpetual. You will walk in the fullness of one who has been set free, and your testimony will be a sign that my power breaks every chain. Therefore, if anyone is in Christ, the new creation has come. The old has gone, the new is here. 2 Corinthians 5 verse 17. Your story does not end in the place of brokenness. You will not rise marked by the scars of sickness as if they were chains binding your future. I declare over your life a different dawn, where the darkness of what you endured becomes a testimony of my glory. You will not remain trapped in diagnoses that try to dictate your destiny, because I make you a living testimony of renewal. The tears you shed in past nights will not be your inheritance. The days of hopelessness will no longer write your path. I speak over your life a season of freshness, where every cell, every organ, and every fiber receives the signal to rise with vigor. The shadows that tried to suffocate your purpose dissolve before the clarity of my word. Do not define your tomorrow by what hurt yesterday. Do not limit your future with the memory of the sickness that held you back. I make all things new, and that newness begins in the deepest part of your being. Today I renew your spirit with unstoppable strength. Today I clothe your mind with unshakable peace. Today I strengthen your body to walk light, free from the weight of what once seemed impossible to release. Sickness will not be the label that identifies you. Pain will not be the last voice that marks your path. My touch rewrites your story with hope. I open chapters for you that no one can close. Where the enemy wanted to place a full stop, there I establish a new beginning full of life. The dust of days of sorrow is shaken from your feet. You will no longer walk on the arid ground of weariness. I make gardens spring up in deserts, rivers in solitude, fountains in dryness. In the same way, I make health spring forth in places where strength seemed gone. I breathe vitality into your bones. I unleash renewal in your blood. I ignite vigor in your heart. I declare a new beginning in your body and your soul. The memories of pain will not guide your path. The voices that said you would never change are silenced. In their place, I establish melodies of victory that will be heard throughout your life. Your new beginning will be seen by all, and they will know that I was the one who opened the way when it seemed closed. Sickness tried to stop your steps, but I accelerate them toward a renewed destiny. What was once fatigue now becomes momentum. Where there was weakness, I establish firmness. Where there were limits, I open horizons. Your walk will be different because your body aligns with my original design. Strong, full, and healthy. The marks of the past will not remain as chains, but as reminders that my power manifested with authority. I make your story a testimony that inspires others. You will not be someone defined by battles, but someone known for the victory my hand established. I lift over you an atmosphere of renewal. In every breath you will receive freshness. In every heartbeat you will feel firmness. In every thought you will perceive clarity. This new beginning will not be fragile but solid because I base it on my eternal word. No storm will be able to remove what I plant today in your life. Your mind will be free from memories of sickness. Your heart will no longer carry the weight of frustration. Your body will not remain in the cycle of relapses. I declare stability, strength, and an open horizon. Your life will no longer be confined under the walls of pain. Many will see in you signs of what I do when I choose to renew. What seemed impossible will become evident. There will be no doubt that my hand operated in the depths. The looks that once filled with pity when seeing you will now fill with amazement at what I do with you. I take you out of the chapter of sickness and transfer you to the chapter of fullness. You will not be stranded on the page of pain, because I write over you words of hope, life, and fulfilled purpose. The book of your existence opens to a new section where health is the protagonist and my glory is evident. Today I unleash over your inner being a river of renewal. That river washes away the memories of suffering. That river cleanses the remnants of oppression. That river carries freshness that settles in every area of your being. From the deepest part of your heart to the surface of your skin, my river of healing flows and transforms. Every part of you will be an announcement that I establish glorious beginnings after seasons of brokenness. Words of condemnation will no longer have power over you. Memories of failure will not control your thoughts. Human expectations that limited you will not mark your path. I am the one who decrees the new, and the new I decree cannot be stopped. There will be no regression in the work I begin today. I lift you so that you walk with firm steps. I lift you so that you look forward with hope. I lift you so that your voice proclaims there is a future, even when the past tried to deny it. You will no longer fall into the prison of hopelessness, because your freedom and your healing are sealed with my word. The doors that closed before you because of sickness I open wide. The opportunities that seemed lost are reborn under my favor. Your life takes a new direction, free from chains, free from diagnoses, free from human labels. I declare over you movement, growth, and fullness. You will no longer measure your existence by days of pain, but by the abundance of life I now unleash. What was once suffering will now be a reason for gratitude. What was once fear will now be security. What was once fragility will now be established firmness. Sickness tried to stop you, but it did not succeed. Today I propel you forward with multiplied strength. Today I establish in you a testimony that will resonate through generations. Your new beginning will not be silent, but noticeable. It will be visible to those who doubted, impactful to those who accompanied you, and glorious to those who see you from afar. The pain of the past becomes the perfect stage for my power to manifest. No one will be able to deny that you were renewed. No one will be able to silence the evidence of what I do with you. For this new beginning is not temporary, it is eternal. Your life will flourish like a field in spring after winter. The roots of your being will deepen in fertile soil. Your branches will extend in abundance. Your fruits will be sweet and visible. So will be your new beginning, full, strong, and filled with signs of life. Nothing of the old will govern your path again. Nothing from the past will stop you again. You will advance lightly because my hand sustains you, and your future will shine because my glory illuminates it. This is your new beginning, marked by healing, affirmed in freedom, and sustained in victory. He heals the brokenhearted and binds up their wounds. Psalm 147 verse 3. My power does not stop at the visible. What your eyes can see is barely a shadow of what I do in the depths of your being. Just as the body needs to be strengthened and restored, your spirit also requires renewal, lifting, and healing. My most glorious work happens in the unseen, because there I establish roots of life that can never be uprooted. I have seen every wound kept in silence, every tear that did not fall in public, every word that pierced like a thorn inside you. None of those marks went unnoticed by me. My hand penetrates beyond the surface, reaching the essence of your existence, and there I begin to breathe a wind that expels shadows and reignites the flame of hope. I will not allow your spirit to remain prostrate in weakness. When thoughts try to chain you, I speak truth. When guilt wants to crush you, I declare freedom. When fear attempts to suffocate you, I raise a song of courage over your life. My voice brings balance where there was chaos. My peace covers the cracks within you, and my love paves the way for a healing that no force in this world can stop. In the midst of the inner storm, when the mind becomes a battlefield, there I descend with light. There I break the invisible walls you built to protect yourself, which at the same time imprisoned you. I enter without violence, with the gentleness of a river, but with the force of an eternal fire that consumes everything that prevents you from living free. Your spirit was designed to reflect glory, not to carry chains. That is why today I unleash a river of freshness that cleanses bitter memories, recollections of rejection, and old wounds that seem never to close. Like gold that passes through fire and comes out pure, so your spirit will be after my touch. What seemed lost will become a seed of victory. What seemed ruin will become the foundation of a new story marked by my light. Do not fear the invisible. Do not fear what others do not understand. I am healing what you cannot even explain in words. I am repairing the internal fibers of your being, where sadness was born and where anguish hid. I am filling empty spaces with a fullness that does not depend on circumstances. I have seen you struggle against thoughts that will not let you rest. I have seen you tired of trying to smile when inside the storm would not cease. Today I declare that you will not face that battle alone, because my presence enters the depths of your spirit and establishes victory. Even when the voices of the past want to remind you of failures, I place a new song inside you, a song that speaks of restoration and triumph. My healing does not only cleanse wounds, it also restores identity. Where you thought you were weak, I reveal strength. Where you believed you were broken, I manifest wholeness. Where you imagined there was no way out, I open paths of glory. My healing in your spirit is not partial. It is total, because I not only close the wounds but also saturate your being with an anointing that will make it impossible for those chains to bind you again. Today I tell you, what seemed extinguished within you, I awaken. The spirit that was tired, I clothe with vigor. The faith that seemed small, I make grow like a tree extending its branches upward. The roots of your soul will now drink from pure waters that flow directly from my throne. In my presence, lament transforms into an inner dance. The weight becomes lightness. The burden that seemed unbearable falls to the ground under the power of my hand. I am making a glorious exchange. I take away your secret pain and give you a peace that even reason cannot explain. That peace will be your shield, that peace will be your strength, that peace will be the melody that accompanies every step of your path. Many will not understand the transformation I am working, because what I heal is not always seen with natural eyes. But you will know that something changed deep within you. You will feel that the chains you dragged are gone. You will rise with different thoughts, with a heart free from the oppression that once suffocated you. You will walk with a lightness that will astonish those who know you. Your spirit will no longer be a battlefield, but a garden where my presence flourishes. I will plant in you seeds of joy, renewed hope, and unshakable faith. Every day I will water those seeds with my light, and soon you will see a blooming that will impact everyone around you. Your peace will be contagious, your hope a beacon, and your inner strength a testimony of my power. The healing in your spirit is not only for you but also to multiply in those around you. You will be a source of comfort to others, because from what you receive in abundance you will give. You will be like a spring in dry land, refreshing weary hearts and lifting the fallen. You will not speak from theory, but from the experience of having been healed by my hand. This is the time when my glory descends upon your spirit like a mantle of restoration. Nothing will remain the same. Everything that was fragmented will be united, everything that was extinguished will be ignited, everything that was imprisoned will be set free. Your inner being will become an indestructible fortress because it has been raised upon my eternal truth. Trust in what I am doing even if you do not yet see it reflected outwardly. My healing is already manifesting within you, and soon everything around you will testify to it. The healthy spirit that I restore in you today will be the foundation for every victory that comes in your future. Remain in my presence, for their healing is constant and renewal never stops. Day by day you will discover that what was once a wound is now strength. What was once weeping is now laughter. What was once defeat is now a banner of triumph. My touch on your spirit will not be momentary, it will be eternal. From today you will walk with a new certainty, that no chain can resist my power, no wound that I cannot heal, no darkness that can prevail before my light. Healing in your spirit is the most glorious victory because from there everything else springs forth. With your inner being restored, your entire life will be transformed. And what began as a whisper of hope within you will become a roar of glory that proclaims to all, my healing is perfect, my healing is eternal, my healing has reached the depths of your being. The God of peace himself sanctify you completely, and may your whole spirit, soul, and body be preserved blameless for the coming of our Lord Jesus Christ. 1 Thessalonians 5 verse 23. From the beginning, I have held in my hands the perfect design of your existence. Nothing you have faced, no illness, no wound, and no mark from the past has been able to erase the glorious plan I outlined for you. Today I open before you the final chapter of this work of healing. An eternal closure, a fullness that does not fade, a triumph that knows no end. Every healing you have received along the way was a sign of this moment, a preview of what I now pour out completely. It is not only about restoring a part, nor about easing a specific wound, but about enveloping every area of your being in an anointing of fullness that transcends time and circumstances. It is comprehensive healing, touching body, soul, and spirit, and it remains firm even beyond the days you dwell on earth. My peace is the seal of this work. My glory is the guarantee that nothing will remain incomplete. Every process, every battle, every tear shed now finds purpose in the victory I release over your life. I will leave no cracks open, no spaces unfinished. I am sealing your story with an eternal fire of restoration. Men may speak of temporary healing, of fleeting remedies, but what I decree over you today is a perfect work that does not depend on the visible. While many settle for momentary improvements, I establish a healing that does not retreat, because it is anchored in my infinite power. There will be no area of your life left untouched by my touch. From the deepest part of your being to the outermost part of your body, all will be aligned with my original design. Physical pain finds rest, emotional wounds find balm, and your spirit rises to a dimension of glory where nothing can harm it. I cover you with a mantle of eternity. This mantle ensures that shadows will no longer rule your inner being. I declare that from today your walk will be marked by integrity, renewed strength, and the certainty that you have been transformed forever. Illness will not have the final word, brokenness will not determine your future, and weakness will not define your identity. Complete healing is not only a gift, it is a destiny in me. It is the manifestation of my unfailing love, my inexhaustible power, and my presence that never abandons. Where there was fear, now there is unshakable security. Where there was uncertainty, now there is assured victory. I hold your life in my hands, and no power can snatch you from my care. Even as the years pass, my work will remain intact. Eternity will witness the fullness I have unleashed over you. Your story will be remembered as the story of someone I reached, lifted, and completely transformed. Rise with the conviction that your body has been strengthened, your mind renewed, and your spirit crowned with glory. Every breath will be a sign of victory, every step evidence of restoration, every glance a reflection of the light I poured into the deepest part of your being. The complete healing I release today not only changes you but also impacts those around you. You will be a living testimony that my power knows no limits. People will see in you what once seemed impossible. Absolute transformation, triumph over every brokenness, the evidence of a God who never abandons his own. I have prepared for you a different future. You walk toward a destiny where scars no longer speak of pain but of victory. Memories that once held you back will now be trophies showing what I was able to do with you. You will no longer view your life as a fragmented story but as a complete and eternal masterpiece. The enemy sought to mark you with despair, but I mark you with abundant life. He wanted to sow fear, but I establish unbreakable faith. He tried to steal your peace, but I clothe you with joy that surpasses all understanding. Where others said there was no solution, I declare eternal fullness. Look ahead with courage, because what comes will not be a repetition of what you suffered, but a manifestation of what I have promised. You will not be a slave to the past, nor live under the shadow of old wounds. The complete healing I unleash today opens new doors for you, places you on a path of glory, and secures eternal victory. No chain can hold you. No diagnosis will have the final word. No word of curse will prevail. Everything has been accomplished under my authority. Illness does not govern your destiny, my power does. Defeat does not write your ending, my glory does. Today I proclaim over you an eternal truth. You have been healed completely, and that healing does not fade. It will be your inheritance every day, your strength in every battle, and your crown in eternity. No one can take it from you because it is my work and everything I establish remains forever. Celebrate, for what seemed impossible has been fulfilled. Give thanks, for what was broken has been restored. Proclaim, for your life is now a song of victory. Let every heartbeat, every word from your mouth, and every step of your walk proclaim that my power is eternal and my healing is complete. This is the glorious closure of your story of brokenness and the beginning of your eternal story of fullness. Nothing will remain unfinished, nothing will be left pending. You have received a healing that has no expiration date because it comes from me, the eternal. Your spirit rests in my peace, your soul rejoices in my truth, and your body is strengthened in my presence. This is your reality from today and forever. Walk with the certainty that what I have done in you cannot be undone. Your life will be a beacon, a testimony, a standard of glory. Lift your hands in gratitude. Declare with your voice that I have been faithful. Acknowledge with your life that I have done wonders. For what began as a plea in the midst of need now ends as a proclamation of eternal victory. Complete and eternal healing is in you. Nothing and no one can change this truth. Celebrate, live, proclaim, and give thanks, for the work has been accomplished, and what I have sealed in your life will remain forever.